Hello there and welcome into this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your own iRacing livery using the Trading Paints paint builder, which is part of their Pro subscription. This is really helpful. I've been using Trading Paints for the entirety of the time I've been on iRacing, and I've had paints made for me. I've had team paints. I've tried to create my own using Photoshop. This allows you to take it to the next level in customization, adding your own sponsors, choosing your own colors, choosing the materials and textures. It's really powerful. It's really fun. Let's get into it. Okay, first of all, let me show you the Trading Paints website. I'm sure you all know this. This is where we assign our liveries. We can pick any of these liveries to run. These are created by the community. You can assign liveries if you've been sent one, bought one, had one handmade for you, or a team paint. But in this video, I want to show you the Trading Paints Pro subscription. Now, I've had this before. They had a more basic editor before, and I didn't really get along with it. But since learning about this paint builder, I've been really excited to create my own, mess around, and in this video I want to show you that process from scratch. So you can see one I made earlier, but let's go ahead and make a fresh one. We are going to make a livery for the Mercedes-AMG GT3 2020. Let's just call this Sampsoid Black. I think you know the theme we're going here. Okay, and we're jumped into this UI editor. Now, I'm going to run you quickly through the look. Down the right-hand side is almost our property panels. This is where we're going to be assigning things, turning things off, changing settings, depending on where we're clicked within the UI. Top left, this is our sort of main layers. So if I show you, here we can see we've got some pre-made samples that are part of the base paint. So we've got sample 1, sample 2, sample 3. It's rather nice. Sample 4. But we're going to hide all those. And we can turn on and off the IMSA car decals. So you can see we've got the Michelin, the Motul, the number board, the things under the number boards. We've also got these different layers. So this one's given us what, the IWC logo. So we can turn that off and on. The pit board, we can change the color or hide it or show it. Dive plane colors. Here in the bottom right and the top left, we have these little markers. This is where it pulls those colors from. So what we can actually do is hide those completely, and it will use our colors of choice. Splitter color, again, this is the other one with the dive plane. So once we turn those off, and the pit box colors, if we turn those off, it will use the colors we choose. So we're going to just go ahead and hide everything from now. This gives us the number boards, all the AMG stuff, and what's on the spoiler. But we'll turn those off for now. Before I get into this, top left, let's pick a base paint. This is almost the starting point, very similar to the iRacing. Very similar to the iRacing choices that you get within the PSD if you're going to be editing your own. So let's just have a quick look. We are going to use something simple. This one. Okay, nice. So we've been assigned essentially 3 colors. So let's go ahead and get those set first, because then we can start the groundwork. And then I'll show you how we're going to preview this in the sim, because it's actually quite cool. So it's quite easy to use. First color, base paint 3. So this is the accents. So we're going to go ahead and set that to a nice red for now. I'll get into the glosses and stuff in a moment. Did we set that? Okay, yep. This is... Okay, so for this one, we're actually going to do a black. And for this one, we're also going to do a black, but we'll show you why in a moment. Okay, so pretty boring at the moment. We're going to hit this little toggle. And we're going to enable Show Spec TGA Finish. This is going to allow you to assign each material to whether how metallic it is, how chrome it is, how reflective it is. So we just tick that, hit close. And then we're going to go back to the second black layer, this one, the middle one. And we're going to make that semi-metallic. And then we're going to make the main part of the paint matte black. Okay, so I want to quickly look at this so we can see what we've done so far. You will see this button here, Sim Preview. This is going to allow us to preview it in iRacing nice and quickly. But the feature I like is we don't have to be in the sim to do it. We just head over to, so if you've got the UI open, the iRacing UI, head over to My Content Cars. Yeah, if we search for the car, Merc, here the car, click the car model. Now we get a 3D representation of the car. And what we can do, if we head back over to our painter, first of all, I'm just going to resize this nicely in the midsection so I can just alt-tab between the two. Okay, brilliant. Okay, back in the Paint UI, we're going to hit Sim Preview. Now, the only part you have to make sure here is that you have Trading Paints open. It's just on the website. Once you've created an account, you just install their software. Very simple. And then we hit update. Our 3D model should update. So as you can see, it's done. So we have these two different types of blacks. And we have our red accents. And it updates nice and quickly. So we're going to head back over. I just want to mess with the red. I want to make this a semi-metallic. And then I think I'm going to make the other black a full metallic. So we've got our main black matte color, the accent black areas a metallic, and the red a semi-metallic. Let's see how that looks. Just give that a second to update. We should get a nicer reflection here in the red. Bit of a deeper color. Okay, excellent. Now, what I want to add is some logos and text. This is really powerful. This is the part that sets it apart, where you can start bringing in all your own material. So we're going to do insert my logo. Here, you can just drag and drop and upload things here, or just drag them in here. Upload all the logos to your heart's desire. So I've uploaded this. I call it Sampsoid Check. It's just all of my Sampsoid logos checkered. Sorry, I did that twice. All of my logos checkered around. I'm actually going to apply that over the entire car. Drag the opacity down to, say, 0.15, somewhere in that region. 0.17 is fine. There we go. So let's just preview that. But you can download any repeating pattern or make your own. It's very simple. I always like this on my paints, so you can see the effect it gives. We can change the glossiness level, so you can just see my logos embedded on the car. Adds a bit of a texture to the material. It's quite nice. Let's get a more prominent logo on the front. So again, insert my logo here. Pivot buttons at the top. And we're going to resize that down. And we are going to put it, let's put it on this one. I'll show you what these things are popping up. When I move around, it's the sponsor blocks. It's the same ones that you normally apply in the iRacing UI. On the right-hand side here, if we click back on the main, we have C sponsor blocks here. So they're hidden at the moment, but the setting is show when editing. So you get a familiarity with where the typical iRacing sponsor blocks goes. It's more of a guide to help you. So let's see how that logo looks. Okay. Looking good. So we can actually change the material of icons and everything we bring in. We can change the finish, glossy, flat, matte, semi-metallic, metallic, chrome, and you can actually do a custom where you customize the metallic, the roughness, and the clear coat setting. So let's leave that as normal for now. We're going to put my large logo on the rear wing. Now, if you confuse what way up, but you can see the iRacing things are the other way up, so we want to 180 that. But the best way to learn typically is just trial and error. Or the other way is to load up the base examples. So you can see this is the Allegra car. You can get a feel for where things go. So we're just going to make that a bit smaller. Okay, let's see how that looks. It might be a bit big. So we're aiming to put my logo and name on the rear wing. Okay, that's looking good for a first attempt. Let's get some sponsors on the side. Everyone likes to add sponsors. So we're going to add logo, insert my logo. Again, upload as many logos as you want. So I'm going to grab, first of all, the Apex Racing Academy one. And we're going to want to put this on the door. So I'm going to put it about there, a bit smaller. Yeah, that looks all right. Add another logo. I'm going to add the VRS logo. Get this shrunk down. Looking good. Let's add two more. Race Anywhere. Perfect. And the TK logo. Let's get that in. So before we go duplicating for the other side, we just want to test we've got this looking okay on the car. Let's punch that out. Should just appear here on the door. Excellent. Now there is a mirror When you click on an icon, if you scroll down, obviously on the right, you can customize the color, the opacity, background that will surround it in a color, manually do the rotation, shadows, clone duplicates. So if I click that, we get a second one. That's great. Delete to delete. What is clever that I'm really pleased with is mirror clone. So this just gives you the one that you use to put opposite. But we're not going to worry about the other side of the car at the moment. I just want to show you how we can get this done quickly. Okay, so we've seen this in the sim. It's looking good. It's looking unique. Let's get some pattern on this roof. I liked this livery choice because of this roof panel that we could accent in a different kind of black material. So we're going to head over to the graphics area. This is a library of free assets that you can use. There is a lot of them. So I implore you to scroll through and have a look. Now remember, we can change the color of them. Obviously, if there's none in here you like, you can just Google a shape, an image, a background, repeating anything, and add it manually into the logos area. But we are going to look for... Let's start at the top, because I forget what it was called. This one. I'm actually going to favorite it. Okay. We're going to add this. Okay, so what I just did there accidentally, this is the Sampsoid checkered pattern. We're going to lock that here on the left. It's this thing. So I can't accidentally move it, which makes it a lot easier. So we're going to click that, which is really difficult to see. So we're going to use this right-hand side to change the color. We are going to change it to white. Well, no, let's change it to like a silver. Let's set that. Let's make it about yay big. Yeah, maybe a bit. Oh, hold shift to maintain the scaling. You can distort the image. One thing I also do is change the opacity. So this is the color slider. This is your color, the hex choice. This is your opacity. So I'm going to choose like, let's say 25%. Set that. Now we can also choose a material. I'm not actually sure what we should go with. Let's go with a semi-metallic. And let's preview this. See how that looks on the roof of the car? So that's looking good. I still think it should be a wee bit brighter. So I'm going to lighten it a little bit. I'm having trouble with this opacity. Usually works fine. Let's try 50. 50 might be a bit much. No, that's much better. Okay, yeah, so we've got something going on in the roof. That looks nice. We've got the Sampsoid logo on the back. We've got the front. So we've got this red material on the back. I think looks great. We've turned off the number boards. Now we can come up here and mess with what we're going to show. So this turns on the IMSA decals, but we do lose the spoiler. Now this is dependent on the car and how each car is configured. So let's take a look. So as you can see, we've got the IMSA WeatherTech boards, the green mirrors. We still don't have the front, but I can show you that. If I untick the dive plane and splitter color, and we update that, you can start seeing how we can mess with our own design and bring in some of the standards. That actually looks quite nice now. But we have lost our spoiler, so we could take off this. And then we have these ones. Just another decal layer, more of like the iRacing standard defaults. But again, we lose our spoiler. If you want to drop on your own carbon fiber material, obviously we just import a material you find on Google or anything. So you can see I was messing with this pattern. It's just, again, something I'd add to the whole car. Mess with the opacity a little bit. This is just a test. Just want to show you the kind of thing you can achieve. If we preview that. But then again, it is black on top of black. So, but I just wanted it to give a different sheen levels. Oh, we can see here. You've got different levels of darkness throughout the car. I just don't think it suits the aesthetic of this car. This livery. A few tricks I found. If you wanted to try a sample, let's say you needed a car really quick. I quite like this trick I found. Let me find, say, this design, sample 3, which we can't really customize much because it is a base layer that iRacing designed. But what we can do is if we click on the sample layer, change the color. Let's say we want an orange hue to it. And then we change the opacity level to, say, 50%. Let's try that a bit less. Okay, it looks quite nice. Let's preview that. This is going to take off pretty much all of our icons and everything. But I just want to show you in a cinch, we can take an iRacing standard paint and apply our own feel to it, which is pretty nice. It would say this isn't something I wanted to show off. This is just something I found while I was messing around with the UI. I just quite like it. It's quite a nifty little feature. There we go. But we can quite easily turn that layer off, get back to our own. Now, obviously, we're not restricted by having the black and black. We could take this second black and we could add in... Oh, we could make it white. And then we could go full chrome and wonder how that looks. We may end up loving it. This might be a keeper. No, it's showing way too much of the Sampsoid stuff through. The chromium. Let's try metallic. Now, obviously, there are neater ways of dragging on the Sampsoid logos. I could have dragged them on in certain areas, but for time, I just dragged it over the entire. Yeah, I'm not liking the white. We'll try semi-metallic just for fun. Doesn't look bad, but I prefer the metallic black. The semi. What was it? Semi-metallic black. I think that's what we had. Gee, I think it was full metallic. Okay, shapes. Let me show you shapes. Here, if we add a shape, we can do a polygon where we literally draw our own. We can add line mode, brush mode, where we quite literally paint the car. I think we're set to black as the color. There we go. So we can use our artistic know-how to paint the car ourselves. Probably not ideal, unless you want to sign your car. But we can drag on rectangles. Again, the default color seems to be black, but I think there is a setting for that. Let me see. I believe there is. I have seen it here. So we can choose the color to be white and the stroke color to be white. Again, only if you find this is... Plus we can save our own colors here. So let's delete that. And let's drag on said rectangle. There we go. So we can choose the color of it, add borders to it, add shadows to it. This is just a simple way of start adding some flair to your car in certain places with ease. But you also could just download a picture and do it that way and import it as a logo. Let's see how the 2 stars look. We're starting to look like the Mercedes F1. There we go. I think we'll keep that for now. Let's see why this rear spoiler's gone. Okay, we left on the iRacing default. That's why we've got the number boards. They do look nice. It depends on the car. Not all cars have the spoiler restricted in that way. But yeah, this is just a fun, fast way of creating liveries. Now, let me show you how you apply this. The race button, if you click that and hit apply, this will apply it in trading paints. So if I head over to my paints, what I'm racing, if we go to the Merc, it will set it here for you and assign the car. So you can see I've got my team livery. But if I was to hit this, it would assign it. The other way is to download, and you can download the TGAs yourself and then manually upload them in trading paints or keep them on drive, keep them somewhere safe. We can also share them with other users. Okay, the other thing is text. I don't think they have my favorite font, Montserrat. So let's just go with Ubuntu Medium. Let's add the word Merc. I have no idea what to add. But as you can see, we can create very high quality fonts with ease, put them anywhere we want. If it was... It saves a lot more time than just firing up Photoshop to add things. Obviously, there is a limited number of fonts. So if there's something that you wanted custom, I'd recommend creating it and importing it as an image. There are some stock logos that they've made, much like the graphics. Haven't actually looked through here myself, but they're all free to use. So let's see if anything belongs on our car. The grid logo is quite cool. So we can bring in this dude, pan him round, make him smaller. And there you go. He's ready to go on our car, ready for officials. There he is. I think he definitely needs to go lower. Oh, that brings me to a good point to show you. We can turn on the wireframe. So if you tick here, you can see the wireframe, and this is going to allow you to know that that wasn't going to work. As you can see here, we can see the dip. So if we wanted him on the car, he would have to be quite schmool. Or we just put him somewhere else. That should work. We might have covered the Merc logo badge. Nope, that looks great. That's a keeper. Yep, so this is good. Now, it is $23.99 a year, but that being a price of roughly a livery to be purchased manually, this, if you're going to be looking to get more than one done a year, then this is a good cost saver. It's much more powerful than the iRacing painter, the standard one iRacing has baked in. If we go into it, the painter car, it has limited sponsors. So if we pick a different design, turn off the custom paint. So this allows us to, again, pick 3 colors, but we just don't get the same level of metallic control. We don't get the same control with adding our own logos, adding our own sponsors, and just generally messing around with the livery and making it our own. I'll show you the other one I built before. So this was for the Porsche. This was the one I was making myself just to test out the software. So if I go to the Porsche GTP car model, this is the one I made using this software. So I made some graphics from the flames. It was called Arrowhead Flame. I made 2 of them, dragged on the sponsor logos, dragged on my Sampsoid logo, added the Sampsoid textures, green and purple, and added some matte black. And yeah, overall, it looks really nice. Yeah, really pleased. It was just something I did quickly just to try out the software before I fired up the video. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the videos. Down in the comments for any questions. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Sub if you want to see more. Bell notification to know when the next video drops. But other than that, yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was useful. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers.